Now, speaking of brands and, just gasoline, there's a lot of stir lately. We reported on this recently with GM about charging stations. And do you have to stick to your brand of charging station? And, GM's working on some solutions so you don't. So they have a group. Of course, Tesla is kind of the one that they have their own branded charging station. But little secret for you guys that don't know, you can charge a Tesla at a lot of these aftermarket third-party ones too, and it'll work.
Right.
It just may not work as fast.
Right.
So Tesla, we got some news coming out of Norway, and apparently, I didn't even know. Do they have courts in Norway? I thought they were all like Norse gods with, Okay. Anyway.
Right, man. Yeah.
A court in Norway found
Give
Tesla...
that man a beer. Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Found Tesla guilty of throttling their charging speeds and battery capacities through software updates. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, so far, I don't know if this is... if they only push these updates out to Norway or if they did it in the rest of the world or not. But in Norway, unless Tesla appeals and wins, they're talking something to the extent of $16,000 payout to each of the Tesla owners that are affected by the software update. That's a pretty big deal.
That is a big deal. That's a lot of cash going back to these guys. Now, so the bottom line is that there were software updates that would be pushed to these vehicles.
Yep.
And it would prevent them from charging as they should.
Yeah, so we just started this podcast talking about this, and here we go, coming full circle. This is I like to call this Generation 1 in EVs. I know you guys can go back to, GM had an EV in the 90s, and it was technically the first electric car and all that. But this is really like from the mainstream platform. We're living in Generation 1, okay?
Right.
Most of these are lithium-based batteries. They're not solid state. They're highly volatile. It's a gaseous battery. It's not very stable. They're always in a state of agitation, okay?
Right.
It's the same kind of batteries a lot of us have in our smartphones, tablets, computers, RC cars, and so on, okay?
Sure.
Well, I can tell you from years of experience with those kind of batteries that the faster you charge them and the harder you hit them with a current, the shorter the life expectancy of that battery.
So that's a good angle. I see where you're going with this.
So here we go with people going, well, I want to be able to charge my car faster, and how dare you throttle my battery capacity? When in the long run, Tesla's probably doing it so that they don't have to deal with as many warranty claims, because your battery's not going to last if you keep just hammering that charge. I mean, think about it like this. If you plug your cell phone in and it's got a 95% charge or a 90% charge, it usually won't rapid charge. Your laptop, right? It's a slower charge from that last 10% so that it doesn't explode your battery.
Right, and we've talked about this with cell phone technology, how they've come along with that, where it recognizes when you're using your phone.
Right.
Therefore, it will trickle charge rather than speed
overnight
charge.
Because it's better for the phone.
It's better for the battery.
Yep.
Wow. So here you have this. You've got a situation where just like those cell phone batteries, you've got a car battery that the life of this thing could be much greater. And so Tesla recognizes this, but you got people on the other side of the fence going, well, they're throttling, so it's a bigger deal to them than it is to Tesla. Well, in all actuality, what they should have done is put maybe send the users if this is what's happening, and I don't see any other reason why they would be doing this other than for the maintenance of the batteries, right?
Yeah, I mean, and there's some people here that are owners that have pointed out, like in DC area, the supercharging stations, they have reduced the fast charging rates and all that. Well, they're going to explode your battery. I mean, you guys, and if I'm Tesla, I'm almost to the point now where maybe with the exception of that actual part where the battery catches fire, I'd just be like, well, fine, give them what they want. I mean,
I think that
you're going to be buying a new battery platform in 5 years.
Well, yeah, you can do that, but actually, if this, I think that people have to realize that at some point with some of this technology, there's got to be a gatekeeper somewhere. And
well, this isn't anything new. I mean, when Ford tunes my internal combustion engine on my V10 gas motorhome or my truck, I can go buy the tuner kit and adjust when it shifts and get more horsepower out of it and get in there and screw around with all kinds of stuff through that OEM port or through that OBD port.
Right.
But there's a reason Ford said it the way they did. And ultimately, it's their knowledge that supports that justification. You can do what you want. You're going to void your warranty. I mean, if I were Tesla, I'd almost be like, okay, well, you can have it your way. Sign here because we're not fixing it when you blow it up.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy that they would take the angle, though, that they were throttling them intentionally for other reasons, malicious reasons, which is obviously not. But I can't believe they're...
What? I mean, so these people are saying it's nefarious. What? But what's your...
Right. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And the fact that they are going to fine them $16,000...
Don't we have to have motive in a crime?
Or they're going to have Tesla give them $16,000.
Is that just me watching too many detective movies? Don't we have to have motive? What's the motive?
There is no motive.
I mean,
I think
seriously.
that I think that this is a story.
We're going to make people wait. It's a global conspiracy to make them stay at McDonald's longer.
Where is this at again? What part of the world is this? God, these guys are warriors. Can they not really deal with that?
Well, they're trying to get on to the next battle, and they can't wait for their car to get charged, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Crazy, man. Well, there you go,
Question.
Got a question.
From the consumer point of view, when the electric car comes out, really a lot of them, are the manufacturers going to include a home charging station with the purchase of an automobile?
That is a good question. Keith, go ahead.
A lot of them do have it. A lot of them are putting induction pads in the center console area. The F-150 Lightning is an example of that. They premiered it with wireless charging, they call it, where you just set the phone on a surface and it transfers power through wireless induction charging. But a lot of the vehicles that are already out, like Tesla's, for example, the Model S and the Model 3, they have charging ports in there for your phone. Yeah, absolutely.
Home charging, though.
Home charging stations.
Home charging stations, yes.
For the car?
Supply?
Yes.
So GM is the first that I know of. Jay and I talked about this on a previous podcast. That they are. They say
pretty
including.
Inclusive.
They're including.
It's pretty inclusive.
A charging station that, for example, you could put on your garage. I think they even have an option that you could put it outside your home if you wanted to. And Jay and I said, well, yeah, but they're just factoring that into the price of the sale of the vehicle, and then you get some sort of like rebate coupon or something to go hire an electrician to hook it up. Yeah, but some of them are, and the reasoning behind that is to sell more vehicles. It takes away the argument of I don't have a way to charge it.
Right. Yeah, and Jeep is making it.
He said home charging station. I thought he said phone charging station.
No. But you answered a couple of questions. Yeah. That's maybe. Did you know that you can do that? Just set your phone down and it charges. Yeah, but that's included in the vehicle now. Yeah. On some of those stuff. Yeah. But like Jeep is their 4xe program. You could go out and they have partnered with Amazon, for you to make it easier for you to buy what you need for that to happen. So it's an easier process. So that's a good question.
You still now you guys could do it. If you know your way around electricity, but you're dealing with 220. You gotta be careful. I mean, you got to be careful even if it's 110. But
right. Well, that was part of the some of the discussions that we were having, Keith. And I don't know that a lot of people put the two and two together. You're the one that brought this to my attention, and I never even thought of this. People are saying we don't have the infrastructure to charge EVs, when in fact we do have infrastructure.
Right.
It's there. We just have to connect the dots. A lot of your RV parks, for example,
they
already are wired for charging stations.
Yeah.
If I'm an RV park, I'm going to offset some of my overhead,
of course,
and advertise that I'm a charging station. Hey, EVers, if you're out here. And it would encourage someone pulling a tow behind to come in and stay at their park.
Why not?
Makes sense,
They've
right?
got a lot of them are high, 40 amp service.
You got it.
You know, some of the bigger rigs require that. So yeah, why not?
Well, my question is this: can you envision, say, a gas station? You have multiple tanks. You can drive in, and in 5 or 10 minutes, you've filled up your tank and you're on your way. But with a charging station, you're not going to be able to go in there in 10 minutes and have a charge enough to last you any time. So can you envision all these stations full, and you're out of electricity here, and you're pulling in here, and you got to wait 30 minutes before you can even attach?
It's a very good question.
It's going to be some chaos involved.
That is a good point. So I think that problem will be solved in a Generation 2 scenario, where they're dealing with something like a solid state battery that can take a faster charging rate without the risk of it exploding. They're getting close to that now. A couple of the ones that Jay and I have reported on lately, they're doing, it's the equivalent of a quarter tank of gas. So you're down to about a 25% charge on the battery, and they'll get you somewhere to about 75, 80% in 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. Not bad. Now, still not as fast as pumping gas, unless you're me in my motorhome with an 80-gallon tank, and then you might actually be done. But I think Generation 2 that becomes more viable, because they're either going to solve, like your dad was saying in one of the previous segments, where we've got perpetual power going on from a constantly running motor, capacitor, whatever. Or they're going to be able to hit it with a faster rate of charge because they're using better battery technology, or a combination of all of that. Yeah, because as more and more people buy these things, there are going to be longer lines at charging stations.
Absolutely, and just to kind of give you an idea, everybody is thinking outside of the box. I have to give the battery manufacturers that, and these EV startups, the fact that they are focused on the ease of charging, as well as the efficiency of charging. And I think Kia had made an announcement with the EV6 GT that they can charge in 18 minutes to give it an X number of additional range to get them in a position to go get a full charge if necessary. So there is technology out there that is advancing exponentially. And I think that we're going to, like I said, when we started the podcast, is that EVs are one of those things that they are ever changing, and to be completely carbon neutral with an electric vehicle or alternative fuel type vehicle, you've got to see some drastic changes from where we are now. The EV world is here. It's on us. It's obvious, with Toyota announcing 70 new vehicles by 2025. Everybody else saying carbon neutrality by 2035, Ford 2040.
I mean, that's all marketing to me, because as we know from, look at the Texas ice storms, where that electricity comes from is not always, I mean, it's a lot, it's natural gas, it's coal, it's solar, it's wind, it's, geothermal, those aren't carbon zero production sources in many cases. So, but also keep in mind that it's a little bit of a shift in the mindset. So whereas, with our internal combustion engines, when my FJ runs out of gas, I don't have a choice. I have to go to a gas station. Okay, these people with electric vehicles, they do have a choice. They can charge at home. So there's a little bit of a shift in the mindset there. The other thing that they tend to get in a different mindset is, they will top off. I was at my little hometown country town in the middle of the Midwest, where it's literally like, I don't even think there was a stoplight in it when I was a kid. Now there's 4 or 5, but they had a grocery store, a brand new grocery store, and over at the end of the parking lot, there's 4 charging stations. And I mean, this is rural, right?
Well,
farmland.
I told you, the trip I took over the pass several weeks ago, that they had charging stations at the actual state park pullout,
right?
With restrooms and lookovers and stuff.
So people get in this habit of, I'm going to pull in here for 10 minutes, but I'm just going to pull up to this charging station and plug it in,
right?
And they just top off. It's the opposite of my wife, who waits until the light comes on, and it's like you got 15 miles left, and then it's time to start thinking. Then no, then it's time to go home, and then tomorrow we'll think about finding gas.
Hey,
and then it's me that gets in the car and's like, I got 7 miles to make it to a gas station.
Here's my new T-shirt. Hey, gas guys, ice guys, I can fill up at home.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So anyway, so
localized traveling or small in-town traveling, it's very feasible.
Right.
Long distance would take some planning.
Yep.
And I think that would be another added revenue source for motels.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. See, he's
Dad's always thinking, man.
He's on it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's always thinking. Before I leave here, I guarantee you I'll have an idea and I'll bring it to the table and we'll be selling this thing on Parts County Gurus. Which, by the way, everybody, while you're listening, you can reach us over on partscountygurus.com. If you're shopping for anything, we have a little icon up in the upper right-hand corner, which is an Amazon icon. If you will click that and do your Amazon shopping through that, it is just a portal into Amazon. We do not know what you're buying. We have no idea. It's completely anonymous. We don't know. But what happens when you do that, people, is it gives us a little love and it helps us continue to grow the show and continue to do these podcasts and produce our videos. So please subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/Parts County Gurus. We would much appreciate that. Tell a friend. And leave comments, talk to us. We love it. We like interacting with you guys. So